Okay, so if you don't know me, Cadence Weapon, aka Rolly Pemberton. I'm a rapper. Um, oh, Jay, they can't hear you.
You can't hear me? No?
I can hear you.
Okay. Says my mic's on.
Okay, now we're rocking. Okay, great. So yes, I'm a writer, musician, producer. I'm actually in the studio producing a record right now. And I just put out an album, Parallel World, on eOne, which is Jay is an A&R amazing dude from that label, and we're gonna just like vibe out on some questions. And Jay, how do we know each other? How did we first meet?
That's a great question. I can't pin it, brother. I mean, I'm. Can you? Yeah.
I was trying to think of it, and it's like one of those things where I think, originally just met just, in Toronto, just like music vibes. Anytime I'd be in town from Edmonton, and then, working with eOne, you've been my point person ever since, and it's been really amazing working with you so far.
Yeah, likewise, man. And as you said, I think, yeah, we probably know each other from the scene. But yeah, when things at eOne and Chris Moncada actually is the one who signed you. That's how we kind of really cemented our relationship. And yeah, excited about this record. And you put together an amazing record. So let's hear what the people want to hear about. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think we got a couple of those questions already, I guess, if we want to just get things started.
Yeah, I think Matt's reading them out, or
yeah, is that happening? I love virtual. I love virtual reality. Hey, what's up? You're muted, Matt.
Hey, sorry about that. But good to see you guys, and happy to join you just to ask you some of these questions and as they come in through the Q&A section. But first thing I got for you guys is, how did you find a good booking agent in the US?
Yeah, so let me tell you the story of how I got my booking agent, because he books me in America and Canada, and I've worked with a lot of different people over the years. But my agent is Oos from Ensemble in Montreal. He's based in Quebec, and originally I first met him, like, we had a lot of mutual friends because I lived in Montreal for like 6 years, and I was playing Hillside Festival in Guelph, actually, one of my favorite festivals. And I, in my opinion, played a particularly good show that night. I just tore it up, and I was crowd surfing, and like, it was just very live. And we ended up actually hanging out in the hotel, drank a bunch of wine, and he was just like, "Damn, I want to book you." And that's how it started. But that is definitely one of the challenges as an artist, especially if you're independent, is like building those relationships. And it's always happened to me in the weirdest ways. Like, another time I played a Wavelength event that I was not on the bill, and it was like very early in my career, and it was actually at Sneaky D's, and I was just like up there, and like I played for like 5 people. Nobody knew I was playing. And then one of those 5 people, I played like there was 5,000 people, and one of those people ended up booking me for many years. So it's crazy.
And shameless plug, you got to talk about the tour that's coming up, brother.
Absolutely, yes. We actually have an American tour where I'm playing some shows in real life, not virtual, starting in October. So I'm over the moon, really excited about that.
U.S. tour, I think it's 12 dates. Yeah.
Yeah, with Fat Tony.
Man, that is hype. Congrats on that. And also, I'm from Guelph. Hillside is the best festival. Mad love for it.
Shout out Hillside.
I'll pull this one from the chat. So this is from Shauna saying, "Hi, Rolly. I subscribe to your excellent newsletter. I'm wondering if that is generating a livable income for you, and what tips you have to make this kind of initiative successful."
Oh, hi, Shauna. How are you doing? Thanks for the great question, and thank you for subscribing. That was, it honestly, I couldn't just do the newsletter, but it's always surprising that it's this kind of like these micro payments that I'm just getting all the time. And it really helps, honestly. Like, I feel like the way I think of it is like, some people just subscribe just to support me directly, whether, they're getting every newsletter or whatever. But yeah, that has just been such an awesome outlet for like just different ideas and expanding on this album. I feel like that was one of the things that really built the universe of this album, was like having this other, you know, bonus feature where you can, you know, find out more about the record by signing up to my newsletter, you know. And it's like I almost have 1,000 subscribers now, and it's just really cool to finally again have like a direct connection with my audience, because I feel like, you know, a lot of social media, you can't do that anymore, and they try and, you know, extort you on Facebook to like pay. You got to pay for ads all the time, but not with this Substack. I'm loving it. It's just direct to people.
Say a word. Okay, pulling up another one from the chat from Anonymous. Jay, can you describe the working relationship with Rolly and an indie label?
Yeah, so my role in A&Ring is and project manager and kind of is basically making sure this record, you know, Rolly brought it to life. In this case, he really did the groundwork on getting you know, the record together and did an incredible job. And then it's like turning it in. So now we've got a finished record and we've been brainstorming, and now it's turning that record in and me working with our marketing and sales staff to really launch the record. And also the pre-setup. One of the great things, you know, working with Rolly that has been a frustration in the past is, you know, Rolly, I think you can attest to this. When we first talked about this new record, it was sort of like, I was like, yo, I want the final master. I want the artwork. I want the single artwork done. I want a video shot. I want the description. I want it all. So we walked in presenting it in a beautiful way, in a more complete way. That's part of my big strategy of how I'll work with artists on our labels, is really trying to get the tools together so that we can really communicate with the marketing, the sales team, the press people. And then also, even before that, it was us getting the players together, you know, our international PR team, our radio folk, etc. And, you know, one of my big things is I like to have a proper product that you can present, because if somebody's judging, if they're going to do PR and take on this for me, I want them to see it in the best light. And thankfully with Cadence, who's incredible at self-managing and putting his assets together, really got that together, had a great creative director, Scott, on the project. So yeah, I'm basically working with him and saying, here's what we need to do to shine it up, make it look nice, and present it to all of our teams so we can get the biggest splash, get the marketing team together, get the internal distributor and so forth together. So yeah, that's kind of my working relationship, working directly with the artist on getting the record turned in and the record out to the world.
And another thing I would add on that, Jay, that you did that was very helpful, you know, even in a more A&R traditional sense, like you really helped with the idea of, like, for instance, On Me, which is like this UK grime homage. It was your idea to get a UK feature on that track. And that was something, like, at first I was just like really protective of my tracks. I'm like, I don't know, man, I don't want to put a feature, you know, whatever. But it ended up being like such a great decision, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, that was, and that's the thing, you know, putting in where you can. I think too, even our discussions after, this is our second record with Rolly. And after his first, you know, self-titled one that we did, it was really hip hop centered. And I think, you know, me traditionally knowing you, you know, I was always saying to Chris, like, man, he's the fusion guy. He's doing the more left of center. He always has. And now that's more popular than ever than maybe when you first started doing it, when you first came out back in the 2000s. So it was sort of like, yo, putting in your ear, let's do more. You know, if you remember, it started with the Jack Green and us saying, let's do a more electronic project, which, you know, came into this parallel world record. And I think that was another good thing, seeing that, you know, me, you, Chris, all identify like, you know, that could really be a sound and a wave to take things further. And I feel like we've done that with this record as opposed to last.
You know, and I felt like that was actually very helpful for me, because my process with the first record, with the self-titled record we did, was, okay, like I want to make something that's more accessible, or like that was more in the kind of like trap world, more like that people could relate to in Toronto rap or whatever, right? But then this was more like, oh, like actually just be yourself more. And it's like this was actually easier for me, and was received better, and just everything has been way doper. So I need those little like nudges here and there, you know.
You did a
Man,
great job.
Thanks,
it's
Jay.
very evident that you guys communicate like very well with one another. That's so tight.
Rolly, I got to give credit. I've dealt with a lot of artists, and I love all the artists I work with. But he is probably the most on point artist I've ever worked with. And so, you know, ask him some questions about that, because he is, you know, self-managed, but, you know, I think would be an incredible manager, because he really is on top of his business and takes this super seriously and utilizes the opportunities presented to him. So it's good, because you can tell him something and he's going to execute it. Yo, I need cleans tomorrow. Bam, in your inbox, done. Yo, should we do this? Yeah, let's do it. Boom, gets it done. Don't have to ask him 5 times. He cares about his career. So yeah, I got to give him that credit.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you. I'm glad you noticed. I appreciate it. I want to give a shout out to Chris Moncada in the chat. I also love both records.
Yeah,
I love all my shit.
Dang. I'm gonna pull up this question from Rick. So this is for both of you guys. We were just talking about TikTok. How has your history been collecting royalties from them? And also, can you put up your newsletter feed? So good opportunity for you to plug in your newsletter to everybody.
Yeah, can I just post that in the chat, and everybody can sign up and do that? Let me do that. Yeah, no, okay, like first thing, it's funny that you mention TikTok, because I just started on TikTok. And so I was hitting up Jay. I got the feeling that, you know, Jay, you work a lot with TikTok, right? Like you're in communication with them a lot.
We building over there. They're great people. Yeah.
I'm finding it very fascinating. In fact, I wrote a newsletter about TikTok and my experiences trying it out. I feel like just like where I'm at right now, I'm so busy with so many different things that I can't even, the amount of stuff that you have to produce to really like get it popping. Like I don't even want to like truly start, because it's like I need to have enough content for posting 2 or 3 times a day, you know, for a month or something, right? So it's like I'm reluctant to even like start until I can really do it the way I want to. But as for like, I'm curious about this question too, Jay. Like, what's the vibe with collecting royalties on that?
I believe we are part of Marlin eOne, right? Or Merlin, who basically, from my understanding, negotiates the contract. Or so eOne is obviously on top of that as a digital distributor. So I would say as soon as TikTok was paying, we've been dealing with them. But yeah, we deal directly now with TikTok, or collecting with them, or working with the Canadian, the US team. And again, it's another discovery tool. I love it. Another discovery tool, and more content, and another platform. And you know, we're seeing the effects of something doing well on TikTok and really transforming. So we're doing more marketing there on that side. Yeah.
You know, my thought process for getting into TikTok is like, you got to be where the people are at. And it's clear to me, like, you know, young people are there. Tons of people are using it, right? And I was amazed already, just like I barely used it. And I have people like hitting me up in my DMs on Instagram being like, yo, I saw your thing on TikTok, blah, 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 in a way that I don't get it from other platforms. Like, it's like people are on there in a major way. And I feel like there's limitless potential for what you can do over there.
Yeah.
Tight.
Damn,
Before I get to the next,
the Q&A is popping right now. I see mad questions in there. Let's go.
It is popping. Before I get to the next one, I actually just wanted to give a shout out to Chris, who plugged in the Q&A. I love both records, so you know that you got that love going on. Oh man. But yeah, next question we've got anonymous one. So it says, yesterday community marketing was mentioned, and I see this with your newsletter going direct to people. What other community marketing might you guys have planned for a new release, if you can share?
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. So just on my end, another thing I started doing was Twitch. And I feel like that's like another example of that, because I have this whole different fan base of people who come just to see me DJ and play tracks and talk. And it's like, it's really crazy to me because they're like, I think the most devoted fans that I have. You know, like I was doing a thing I called Quarantunes, and I was like playing tracks every Saturday night, you know, and during the pandemic, and it was like really well received and really fun. And people would like send me money over PayPal. Like it was like, it's really interesting. Like the way people like kind of resonated with it. But I'm wondering, Jay, if you have any examples of that for anything.
I mean, I'm a firm believer of direct to customer relations and all that stuff. It's like, you know, I'm thinking recent things, you know, like, again, even just utilizing Bandcamp and how you can talk to your fans and you can actually like get your the email addresses and stuff of your fans off Bandcamp, message them direct, through live shows to them. I think that's a great tool. But just in general, I think direct to consumer, when you're getting direct with your fans. And again, we're from Toronto. Look at the biggest example. I thought one of the greatest ones was what Drake and those guys did with October's Very Own. And they said, instead of putting out a new song and getting Rolling Stone to cover it, we're posting it on our blog. So you have to come to us to get the content. And I think that's part of why they have such a, you know, cult following with their thing, is because their fans really were there with them, supporting them. And it wasn't, I found out about this from Pitchfork and some, you know, snobby journalist or something. It was more like, yo, I wanted it. I went to the website. As soon as they tweeted it, I went there. So I think the more you can do more engaged stuff directly, is, you know, Cadence is doing with his Twitch and all his assets and stuff, is that's good money.
Yeah, you know, the another thing with the Substack that I really like is how it works as, you know, a replacement for traditional marketing, for traditional PR. Because what I noticed just on this album was a lot of the journalists were getting info directly from my newsletter, you know, and they were like that, they were using that for research instead of, you know, I got so tired, you know, especially on the last record, with people like getting information wrong, like getting my intentions incorrect, you know, like misspelling stuff. I was just like, listen, let me take control of the means of production for this, because I have the skill, I can write or whatever, you know. And it's like, you know, it's been so beneficial. It's been amazing because, like, you know, like I did this great Stereo Gum interview, which I was super happy with. I'll put that in the chat. And the interviewer was really well versed with my newsletter. And that really like blew my mind. I was like, okay, this is like not just me like chatting directly to my fans, but it also has this other tool to it.
Yeah. And I think what was the other thing I was going to just quickly mention on the community side is like Patreon, OnlyFans, and utilizing those, some of the subscription services. You know, I see now OnlyFans is literally advertising DJs come and use OnlyFans, you know. So again, more of these direct things are really changing the game, especially if you're into other stuff too. Again, you can be an artist and a gamer, and now you're getting donations on Twitch for your gaming, but they're fans who love you from the music. So you know, there's tons of examples of that. And
that's what I would say is like, give your fans a way to support you, because they want to now, and especially in this day and age with streaming, where they feel like, okay, I'm like stealing this guy's music daily, just like not paying for a record. They're like, they want something. They want to buy a shirt off of Bandcamp. They want to like subscribe to me. Like some people just subscribe just to give me props, and I love that. And it makes me feel good too as an artist, because it's just like, for so long when I don't have that direct communication with my audience, you know, it can feel like, oh yeah, nobody likes me, nobody likes my records or whatever, like, because I'm not hearing it, I'm not breaking through, you know. But then it's like with this, it was just like really dope.
One of the best examples quickly that really taught me this in my career was I was the label manager for Stone's Throw Records out of LA. And these guys, when this was at a time when everybody wanted to be on the blogs, it was all about getting your song on the blog, right? And Jeff Jank basically, they were revolutionary where they basically made their website and sold their MP3s. MP3s they sold directly off their website, right? Not directing people to iTunes and things. It was buy it from my website, come to the website for our merch drops, all these things. And this guy, Jeff Jank, who did it, did something so revolutionary where everybody was trying to get on blogs. When their songs popped up on a blog, he hit them up and took it down because he wanted all the traffic to go to the website where you had to go to hear it, to download it, to play it. And then I saw that cult following of that label and how people are just levitated to the brand because they didn't want to buy it somewhere else. They wanted to buy it from the Stones Throw store. They wanted to buy it directly. So yeah, and that was in the 2000s. And now with all these additional tools, it's like, I think the more you can do that, the more you can be a self-sustaining artist.
Really great points, especially just about like cutting out middlemen wherever you can. Got this question from Story. Do you prefer staying self-managed? As a self-managed artist myself, I would love to know when either of you think it's time for an artist to find a manager or reach out to a label.
That's a great question, and that's something that I'm really I'm dealing with right now, actually, because I've been self-managed for a few years now, and it's gone well, and it's been really nice because you're in control of everything. If something doesn't go to plan or it doesn't happen, you've only got yourself to blame. It's like there's no more of somebody messing up your thing, so that's cool. But the thing is, it's like, I don't know about you, but it's like I am spending so much time doing all this admin. That's the thing I hate the most, is doing all this admin paperwork, like registering all my songs and stuff. It's just, it absolutely kills creativity, and it takes up so much time, and it's mind numbing. I hate it. Shout out to anybody who does that for a living and that's all you do. You're a saint. You're a wonderful person, and the world loves you, because I cannot. I'm in the process of getting a manager right now. I'll put it that way, because it's really time consuming. But I would say the point in which you should find a manager, in my opinion, is when you're getting so busy that it's cutting into your time to actually be creative. And I think it becomes very obvious, where it's like, for me right now, it's like, I'm doing this, I'm producing a record in here, I'm going to record a song later tonight, I'm going to be working until like 10, 11 at night today. It's like, would be great if I could have somebody who could just send that invoice for me. And it's like in the back of my mind, I got to do this invoice, and it's like, I have a girlfriend too, somehow. So.
And just a quick thing to put in there. Sometimes too, you could do that with an admin person versus giving somebody 20% of your entire equity. Something to very much think about. There's an artist that I was working with who did that recently, where she's like, I don't want a manager, and she just hired an admin person, pays them $1,500 a month, and bada boom.
But there's something to be said, Jay, still, for what a manager can do for you.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I'm not downplaying managers. Managers are amazing, and you need them, especially to really elevate building your team. I'm just saying, for some of those artists, that if you're not making money yet, and you still got to do some admin, that might be a more effective way at the start.
I guess that's another thing to be like, if you get to the point which I feel like I'm at this point in my career, where I feel like I'm actually leaving money on the table because I actually don't have enough time in a day to do everything, is a good time to get a manager.
Smart managers listening on this call would call Cadence right now.
Yeah. Hit me up. Hey,
this client you'll have, man. He'll do it all.
Listen, man, I make art. Let's get rich.
Yeah.
They best be subscribers on your newsletter already, though. That's how you know you're an authentic one, right?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah. So next one from Okoye. What do you feel is most important RE marketing for independent artists without a team? Do you feel a focus on press or demographic specific ads is key?
Yeah, Jay.
My thought is, it depends who the artist is. It totally depends who the artist is, So I don't think we can have a formula. Some artists are tour driven. Some artists are radio driven. Some artists are all about tons of content. Some artists are driven by socials. Some artists, you know, so it's really, I think the key is knowing your artist and then knowing where your fan base is. And I think another big thing that I've said before, you know, I feel like I say too is a lot of people want to be this, but they're actually this. And sometimes you got to listen to your fans and your analytics and realize, again, even with we were talking about with this new record and being more yourself on this record, it's like, and now you see things, you know, there's more opportunities opening up. So I think the other thing is to not always say, you know, I use the example of, you know, everybody wants to get on the big playlist on Spotify, but what if SoundCloud is actually where your core fan base is, and you should be spending more energy working SoundCloud, you know? So it really, in my opinion, it depends on the particular artist. So that's my thought.